Hello students and welcome to the new lecture session on advances in diesel engine technology. Myself Shankar Ghosh, Assistant Professor of Automobile Engineering Department at Dr. Sudhir Chandra Sud Degree Engineering College under the JIS group. Students, today we will discuss on a new topic, that is advances in diesel engine technology. This is the module number of 5, title of latest engine technology features. This topic is under the subject of modern vehicle technology. This is the 7th semester automobile engineering students syllabus. The subject code is AUE 704B. So the objective of this topic is that student understand about the diesel engines, its history, its working principle, and they easily know about the various advanced technology which is used in the diesel engine. So students, let's start the today's class on advances in diesel engine technology. Diesel fuel in general is any liquid fuel is a liquid fuel which is used in the diesel engine. So diesel fuel is a liquid fuel which is used in the diesel engine or CI engine, where CI means compression ignition engine. The fuel ignition take place here. Fuel ignition take place without any spark. In the SI or petrol engine or gasoline engine, we use the spark plug, but in the diesel engine, fuel is ignited without any spark. The diesel engine have found broad use of result of higher thermodynamic efficiency and thus the fuel efficiency. The most common type of diesel fuel is a specific fractional distillate of petroleum fuel oil. Alternatives that are not derived from the petroleum, such as biodiesel, biomass to liquid or BTL, or gas to liquid or GTL diesel, are increasingly using the developed and the adapted. To distinguish petroleum derived diesel is increasingly called the petrodiesel. Ultra low sulfur diesel or ULSD is a standard for defining diesel fuel is with the substantially lower sulfur contents. In Australia, the diesel fuel is also known as distillate, and in Indonesia it is known as solar, a trademark name by the local oil company Pertamina. Now come to the history of this diesel engine. The diesel fuel, which is originated by the German scientist and the innovator who is known as Rudolf Diesel in the year of 1892. So basically, students, in the year of 1892, Rudolf Diesel, who is a German scientist and the inventor of the diesel fuel, this diesel engine exhibited the invented by the Rudolf Diesel, the diesel engine exhibited at the 1900 at Paris Exposition and in the 1911 World's Fair in Paris. In the year 1911 World's Fair, which is held in the Paris, here the diesel engine was exhibited. Now coming to the knowing to about the Rudolf Diesel. Rudolf Diesel, who is the best known for the invention of the engine. Rudolf Diesel is the best known for the invention of the engine that bears his name, who is who was born in Paris, France in 1858. His invention came while the steam engine was the predominant power source for the large industry. In 1885, the year of 1885, Diesel set up his first shop. Diesel set up his first shop in Paris to begin development of a CI engine, or the compression ignition engine. In the year of 1890s, he received a number of patents for his invention of an efficient, slow burning compression ignition internal combustion diesel engine, that is Diesel 1895, Diesel 1898, Diesel 1892, and the Diesel 1895A. So these are the patents of his invention. So students, this is a picture of diesel engine. This was the third tested engine which is used successfully in the year of 1897 acceptance test. This was the single cylinder 4-stroke water cooled air injection of fuel. Here the output of this engine was 20 horsepower. Fuel consumption was 238 gram per horsepower per hour, and efficiency was 26.2%. The displacement volume was 19.6 liter, where the bore was 250 millimeter and the stroke was 400 millimeter. Now this development of diesel invention, the development of this diesel's invention needed more time and work to become a commercial success. Many engineers and developers then joined in the work to improve the market viability of the idea which is created by Rudolf Diesel. He, on the other hand, became somewhat threatened by his process. And was not always able to find common language with the other engine designer developed his innovation. So Diesel attempts of market promotion of the not yet ready engine eventually led into a nervous breakdown. Later in the year of 1913, deeply troubled by the criticism of his role in developing the engine, he mysteriously vanished from a ship of a voyage to England. Presumably, someone says he committed suicide, according to Linhart 2000. After the diesel patent started to expire, patents started to expire, a number of other companies took his innovation and developed it further. Here is the timeline of the diesel. In the year of 1892, as I said, the diesel engine was invented by Rudolf Diesel. In the year 1898, this was known as diesel engine or the compression ignition engine. Next, in the year of later in the year of 1905, turbocharger was introduced. The turbocharger was introduced in this diesel engine. In the year of 1927, fuel injector pump. The fuel injector pump was introduced in this diesel engine. In the year of 1943, CRDI or the Common Railway Delivery System, was introduced with this diesel engine. In the year of 1986, electronic diesel control is used. And now coming to the alternative fuel as a biodiesel was introduced in the 1996. So students, basically these are the timeline of diesel engines in advanced technology, right, which is used in this, which is modify the engine in various way. Now coming to the production of the diesel engine. Basically diesel engine comes from the crude oil. Here is the process of the crude oil refinery. Here is the cool of 25 degrees Celsius and here it is hot at near to 350 degrees Celsius. Here when crude oil is poured in this furnace, gasoline or the petrol which is removed from here up to 5 to 9 carbon atom fuel for car. Then the crude will transform to the naphtha, making the chemical. Next, then it comes to the kerosene. Coming to the kerosene, that is 10 to 14 carbon atoms. We use the aircraft fuel. Then next part is diesel oil is coming out, where 14 to 20 carbon atoms is coming out, and that diesel oil or fuel used for the car and the truck and buses or lorries. Then it is coming to as the lubricating oil, where carbon content is 10 to 20 atoms, which is basically used for the lubricating part in the machinery and the vehicle, etc. And after that the fuel oil is coming out, that is 15 to 22 carbon atoms. Those fuel are used for the ship and the power station. And next portion and the rest of this residue as bitumen for the road and the here this is the way of the heated crude oil. So crude oil is entered in this way and then it is goes through this like this, and the refinery gases and the gases which is out from this way, and this is the refinery gases which is used for the bottle gas. Now the upper cases, the small molecules, low burning point, very volatile, flow easily, which is flow easily and the ignite easily. And here in the near to the hot area there is a large number of large molecule, high boiling point, not very volatile, does not flow easily, does not ignite easily, doesn't flow easily and does not ignite easily. So this is the production of the diesel fuel from the crude oil. Now coming to the property of the diesel fuel. Basically in physical state it is liquid. The fuel material is from the crude oil. The chemical formula is C12H24. The density was 820 kg per meter cube. Cetane number varies from 40 to 55. The flash point is 107 degrees Celsius. Pouring point is minus 8 degrees Celsius. The boiling temperature is 192 to 80 degrees Celsius. Auto ignition temperature was 254 degrees Celsius. The stoichiometric air fuel ratio is 14.7 is to 1. The lower heating value or calorific value is that 42.31 megajoule per kg. The viscosity is 2.87 semi-stop. Carbon content is 86%, hydrogen carbon is 12.95%, and sulfur content is near to 1%. So these are the properties of the diesel fuel. Now coming to the combustion. In the four-stroke engine, there are basically 4 strokes is shown. First one is intake, second one is compression, third one is power, and the fourth one is exhaust. As I can see in this picture, as I can see and in the animation, in the intake stroke, the air is intake where piston moves from TDC to BDC, and then it moves from the BDC to TDC, that is a compression stroke, and before completing the compression stroke, the fuel is injected through the injector, and then just because of the huge power and the huge pressure and the huge temperature produced in this engine cylinder due to the compression, the fuel is burned automatically, and that time power stroke is starting the power stroke, and then during the power stroke, piston again moves towards the BDC from the TDC, and after that the exhaust stroke, that is piston moves from the BDC to the TDC, and then during the exhaust stroke, the exhaust gases coming out from the exhaust manifold. So this is the animation of the combustion of the 4-stroke engine. Now coming to the why we use diesel engine. Diesel in relation to other fossil fuel. Diesel in relation to the other fossil fuel is an exceptionally an exceptionally dense fuel. There are a variety of properties. That are inherent in dense fuel. Because of the inherent properties of diesel engines are extremely energy efficient, both respect to combustion efficiency and the thermal efficiency. However, while diesel is extremely energy dense, and diesel engines are more thermally efficient, and the diesel engines are more thermally efficient and have higher combustion efficiency rates than the lighter fuel with low carbon density. It's capturing the fuel potential of diesel can be difficult. In diesel engine, while considerably more efficient and less pollution than a gasoline engine, and alternative fuel engine still have limitation, but the same inherent traits of diesel that makes diesel engine efficient give in the potential as technologies advance to generate even a higher efficiency rate and a lower emissions. The property of diesel with respect to the fuel efficiency, combustion efficiency, and the thermal efficiency rates govern the energy and emissions outputs from the diesel engines according to the several law of the physics. Ideal gas law and the first and the second law of thermodynamics determine the environmental and economic value of the diesel engine. As technology improves, efficiency and output rate should increase according to the law of physics. While while we can develop technology to increase the efficiency in which we use diesel, the law of physics also tell us that gasoline and the alternative fuels have limitation with respect to how much more we can improve the efficiency of the engine that combusts them. The principal reason gasoline has greater potential to improve is because of its energy density and the stability. Gasoline and the alternative fuels are much lighter and less energy dense fuel, and for that reason improving the gasoline and alternative fuel engine is extremely difficult. So that is the reason of the diesel. The higher energy density it was, the diesel engine highly fuel efficient. For one, because on a volume scale, that is gallon, liter, square foot or meter, diesel has a much higher energy density than most other solid, liquid and the gas state fossil fuel. Diesel certainly has a higher energy density than the gasoline, natural gas, basically methane and the propane. It has a higher energy density means there is no more energy per volume unit of measure, more energy per gallon to push a vehicle down the road. The reason diesel has a higher energy density than other fossil fuel is that the hydrocarbon in diesel, the valuable component in every fossil fuel that ignites, a burn or the combust, are made of long and complex molecules. The molecules with a very high carbon to hydrogen ratio. The calorific value. The calorific value of diesel fuel is roughly 45.5 megajoule per kg and slightly lower than the petrol, which is 45.8 megajoule per kg. However, the diesel fuel is denser. However, the diesel fuel is denser than the petrol and contains about 15% more energy by volume. Accordingly, for the differences in energy density and overall efficiency of the diesel engine is still same 20% greater than the petrol engine, despite the diesel engine also being the heavier. The greater the number of carbon atoms in hydrocarbon in relation to hydrogen atoms, the higher the fuel density of the fuel. On a volume scale, the energy density of diesel is between 15% and 25% greater than the gasoline. The difference depends on whether or not the gasoline is low or high octane. The higher the octane of gasoline, the lower it is energy density. The reason being that Additives used to increase the gasoline octane have lower energy density than the gasoline. So diesel naturally has exceptionally compression resistance because it is a heavy diesel stable fuel made for the large long hydrocarbon the molecules. Coming to the high compression resistance, diesel is highly efficient. The diesel is highly efficient with respect to fuel efficiency is because diesel is a very heavy diesel fuel. Diesel is a very stable fuel. The stability of diesel is the reason of the diesel engine with high compression ratio are possible. Compression ratio play into both the fuel efficiency and the emissions. The compression ratio is particularly important with respect to reducing the emission. The higher compression ratio has the lower the emissions. More thermal efficiency than the other fossil fuel. Diesel engines are more efficient. The diesel engine are more efficient than any other liquid fossil fuel engine is that of the thermal efficiency. Thermal efficiency is the total amount of energy which is generated by an engine's combustion of fuel that becomes mechanical energy and energy that pushes a vehicle down to the road. The thermal efficiency of diesel engine is far greater than that of any other type of liquid fossil fuel engine. The thermal efficiency of diesel engines is in part due to the energy density and the compression resistance of the diesel fuel. Now coming to the engine modification. Why should I go for the engine modification? Just because of the combustion chamber modification or to reduce the emissions and increase the efficiency. So that is the reason for we need the engine modification. Engine modification is a various ways. One of these is combustion chamber modification, where newer diesel engines in the combustion chamber modification, newer diesel engines have combustion chamber seized and configured to achieve maximum combustion rates. The greater the combustion rates, the higher the power output, the fuel efficiency, and lower the exhaust emissions. That is the why we use engine modification, especially combustion chamber modification. Next is sound attenuation. Most people associate the diesel engine with a high level of noise. So this noise occurs mainly when starting a diesel engine. As the fuel is injected into the pre-chamber and is forced to vaporize at a high temperature. Recent advancement in sound attenuation material and the strategies have enabled engineers to reduce the noise level to a significant extent. This is done by fitting the pre-chamber with sound attenuation pockets. These pockets are spaced and designed such that they nullify the detonation waves caused during the combustion. Alternatively, these pockets are filled with porous or metallic ceramic pellets which are coated with the platinum or the rhodium. Platinum and the rhodium act as a catalyst to achieve complete combustion, and the pellets attenuate the noise levels. So besides this, other modification involve placing attenuating materials such as the porous ceramic or the sintered metal near the mouth of the passage connecting the pre-chamber up to the combustion chamber. Now coming to the advanced fuel system. CRF or Common Rail Fuel Injection System is a form of direct injection system which injects the fuel from a fuel tank into individual solenoid or the piezoelectric valves, where the fuel tank store fuel at a high pressure. This is an electronically monitored injection system which allow for greater control over the fuel injection time and the quantity. The CRF system is designed to maintain high pressure, which helps homogenize the fuel and air mixture by allowing for finer vaporization of the fuel, which paves the way for more complete combustion, leading to greater power output and lower the exhaust emission. The recent advances in the system include modification which allow for as many as 5 fuel injectors per combustion cycle, thereby improving the fuel economy. In fact, CRF systems are associated with a 20% decrease in the fuel emissions and 5% improvement in the fuel economy. Now coming to the fuel composition. Diesel fuel is typically high in sulfur content. Diesel produces high particulate matter emission on combustion, which clog emission device and hamper the engine performance. However, with the EPA or Environmental Protection Agency mandates that went into effect in 2006, a newer version of diesel has been formulated. A new version of diesel has been formulated with sulfur content as low as 15 parts per million or 15 ppm, which is known as the ultra low sulfur diesel or ULSD, and has very low exhaust gas emissions. Then we use the engine gas recirculation or the EGR. The diesel combustion occurs at very high temperature and NOx is performed as a byproduct. The NOx emissions at certain levels are harmful to the atmosphere and needed to be regulated. So EGR is one of the treatment which diesel engine manufactures until to lower the NOx emission. In this treatment, part of the exhaust gases are recirculated into the engine and mixed with the air in the combustion chamber. This process lowered the adiabatic flame temperature and increased the heat capacity of mix, allowing the combustion at a much lower temperature and reducing NOx formation, which is maximized at high temperature in the presence of ample oxygen. Next one is selective catalytic reduction or SCR. This method utilizes a reduction catalyst such as anhydrous or aqueous ammonia or urea to convert NOx into diatomic nitrogen and the water. Although this method was patented in the year of 1957 and has been in use for a long time for the waste management system and the commercial boiler. Its integration with the diesel engine driven the application such as the power generation in a recent phenomenon. It is known to reduce NOx emission in a range of 75 to 95%. Now coming to the after treatment and emission control. Future after treatment systems are expected to cost which is less than an additional $100 over the today's system. Albeit require a higher pressure injection system because NOx emissions are highest at cold start and SCR catalysts need time to warm up. Suppliers are developing technical solutions. Many systems are capable of NOx conversion over a wide temperature range at rates close to those of three-way catalytic converter on the gasoline vehicle. Supplier and the manufacturer are experimenting with combination to create durable after treatment systems that are cheaper and the more compact. At a low load, cylinder deactivation increases the load. Cylinder deactivation increases the load on the active cylinder, thereby increasing the exhaust temperature more than if all cylinders were in use. This increased temperature can be used on diesel engine to quickly warm up the after treatment system to the point at which it is most efficient. Deactivation also has fuel saving of as much as 25%, although this is only under low load operation. Higher pressure direct injection is being implemented to improve diesel and the gasoline efficiency, but this can result on generation of ultrafine particulate matter, which is especially harmful to health. As this filter as these filters slowly fill up, they must be regenerated at high temperature to burn off the carbon residue, ideally generating the carbon dioxide. This produce can take as long as 20 minutes and can lead to greater fuel consumption and elevated NOx emission. The higher temperature require heat resistant SCR system to increase the packaging to move the after treatment further away. Now coming to the hybridization, as with gasoline downsize and the turbocharged engines, the downsized diesel engine will soon benefit from e-boosting and 48-volt mild hybridization. E-boost system comprising an electric supercharger or a turbocharger with an integrated electric motor use a 48-volt electrical subsystem to directly boost the engine or to spin up the turbocharger and greatly reduce turbo lag. The e-boosting systems can use larger turbines with lower back pressure. Better boosting and reduced lag permits further engine downsizing and the down speeding. The 48-volt electrical system with a larger battery has further benefits. It captures regenerative braking energy that can be used to power the e-booster or for the propulsion. It permits accessory operation with the engine off, enable more robust start-stop system and can shift the burden of powering certain accessory to the electrical system, reducing the engine accessory losses. Cooling fans have a blower, electric heater, and the other accessory will most likely be among the first to be powered by the 48-volt system. So, students, in this in the today's class, we'll discuss or we discussed or we covered here the advances in diesel engine. So from this lecture we can understand easily about the diesel engine, its history, its production, properties and its combustion process and its various advanced technology which is used in the diesel engine. And students, in the next class we'll discuss another topic. So till then, stay at home and stay safe. Thank you so much.